There's a claim out there designed to punch ordinary investors in the throat. Tony Alexander says it's all over for mum and dad property investors. 16 reasons, not one, 16. The core message is simple. The easy era is done, funding is tighter, rules favor tenants, costs are up, supply is rising, capital gains expectations are falling, older investors selling, even the Reserve Bank is talking about a structural shift. But there is a difference between a structural shift and a structural surrender. My guest is professional property developer Dave Whitburn. So when Tony's saying it's all over for mum and dad investors, what's the strongest part of his case and what is the weakest part?
Tony is a genius. He's been the most property-friendly economist for the past 3 decades. I've been proud to share the stage with him on numerous occasions when he was the chief economist at BNZ. His reports about the 16 reasons why residential property investment's not going so well is quite a damning one. It got a lot of property investors talking. Quite a few property investors are genuinely worried about it. For me, I think the strongest part is just the totality of it. He's listed out so many facts, and then having someone that's known as a property-friendly economist to say, hey, property investment isn't what it once was. The rate of return is going to be much lower, and that's why there are far fewer mum and dad property investors, as he terms them, going to the markets. That's pretty damning in itself. So the strongest thing is actually the totality of it all. I can drill down into a couple of the drivers, but I think just Tony talking about the factors and listing out all these reasons why, that in itself is extremely damning.
Well, it's becoming more of a professional investor's game, right?
Yep.
And mum and dad property investor that might have had a second or third property over the years, it was you buy the neighboring property or something in a vacation town, and it was kind of easy.
Absolutely. For example, Donald Trump's government in America have moved to try to take out the big corporate landlords. You've got BlackRock owning, I don't know how many 100,000 homes that they are alleged to own, but the point is that many hedge funds have moved into residential property and have this build-to-rent model to it's become a corporate play, and that's has some consequences to it. What's the actual harm in having these so-called mum and dad investors trying to chase their own financial freedom and not be dependent on the state for their future? That's probably an admirable thing. So it's a really interesting move in political positioning to see in this one. I think that we've got to drill out some of the major concerns with this, and some of them, are we seeing a structural shift here in the residential market? Are we going to be getting these 6.5% per annum year-on-year capital growth? Obviously, the market moves up in cycles. There's a boom, there's a downturn, there's a recovery, there's a boom, a downturn, a recovery. Surely as day follows night, we'll keep seeing that kind of pattern. It'll ebb and flow as we get things like COVID pandemics and wars and special military operations and the like there that can cloud over things. But we're going to, in general, see that pattern occur. It's just that, are we going to see over a long-term pattern, or are we more likely to see something like 4.5% per annum capital growth rate?
Most people try to start a business from scratch. That's the hardest way to do it. The smarter path is buying an established business. Business Apprentice shows you how that actually works. Business Apprentice NZ, the practical path into business ownership. Well, if you consider what has pushed house prices up is the demand in our city centres go from 1 income to 2, interest rates go from 20% down to 5%. Those things helped push prices up. Now, we're not likely to see going from 2 incomes to 3 in a household. We're not likely to see interest rates go from 5 to 2%. So what is going to push house prices up? Take the inflation side of things off the table.
I've talked to some bankers about this. One of them's got a fantastic role with a leading Australian bank in Sydney, and they've said that they are considering a 40-year standard mortgage instead of a 30, so that would help drive bank profits because it would extend the amount of time that people are paying interest to, and they can back that up because people are living a lot longer. Average life expectancies and now in the late 80s. That's pretty exciting to have. So therefore, people are working longer. There'll probably be an increase in the retirement age just to scale the population. Just wait till Winston Peters has exited Parliament for that to occur. I mean, that's a certainty. So Winston living, but also the retirement age moving up, like it is in everywhere else in the Western world. So that 40-year loan's not too far flung. That loan term is something that I think can indeed happen. It doesn't mean you can't pay it off earlier than that, of course. That will help support the price going up. But the big one is migration. It's all about the economic laws of supply and demand, and we have this. It's all about a balance. Right now, we've been seeing a lot of supply come on board, and Auckland and Wellington populations haven't been moving up and scaling with that. Net migration has been the most closely correlated driver to house price growth, and without migration, we aren't having that pressure in for houses. The net migration stats are only positive in New Zealand because of the student visas that were then through. No one bothers taking it out, bar geeks like me. But if we do that, we actually have a migration loss in New Zealand. That's a pretty scary thought. Not many of these student visas are going to be purchasing property. They will rent it, but often they're renting in city centres, particularly in central Auckland. So we have to be really, really careful and mindful of that and what they're doing and playing with it. They're only allowed to work for a maximum of 25 hours per week in jobs, legitimately. An important word, but and how long are they there for? They're there to try to get permanent residency out of their countries.
So many first home buyers are going to require a second generation of the money comes from parents, and if they're students from international countries that don't have the same kind of financial firepower, they're going to have to wait until their kids are, if they become those students, permanent residents, then they have kids, then maybe their kids will buy property, but it's not going to help us today to push prices up if you're...
Yeah, you can say that there, but I unfortunately think a lot of Kiwis make excuses. I was working at a nationwide pizza franchise there, and one guy in his 3 years on a student visa saved $100,000. Wasn't easy, had low standard of living, but he saved $100K without knowing a word of English when he came over. I admire that. Too many people tell it's too hard, can't do it. Some of them done it for ages. Blessed to have quite a few tenants, and most of them tell me it's impossible to get a house. But I'm just not too sure about the situation with Kuldeep. What special advantage did he have from India coming over, not knowing anything bar hello? There, no special advantage there. He saved over $100K, paid his taxes the whole way along, so he's able to do it.
Yeah.
Why is it so hard to do it?
And he wants to keep working, right?
He wants to keep working, to keep being productive. He asked for extra hours there to do it. He's made an effort to do it and to learn the language, to blend in, obviously, with cricket. It's a fantastic sport to do. So there are so many examples in doing that, and that's why we see even those that are even worse category than him, the refugee quota. The average refugee still makes more money than the average New Zealander after 10 years.
Yeah.
What on earth is going on? So we need to ask ourselves, is it us? Is it a mindset system? What's going on with our education system that we're so broke that why is it so broken that the average New Zealander does far worse than those that have come from victims of torture and oppressive government regimes, and we get out-earned by them in just 10 short years of being here? Why can somebody on a student visa save up more money to doing this, or accredited employer work visa to do it? So these are the little challenges that we've got. I apologise, Kuldeep's actually on the accredited employer worker visa rather than the student visa, but the point remains the same. It's that work hard ethic and that desire to be productive and to get out of that. If you think you can, you're probably right. If you think you can't, you're probably right too.
Selling a business doesn't have to mean walking away tomorrow. Some owners want to step back slowly, reduce their hours, hand things over properly. That's exactly what Business Bridge is designed to do. Business Bridge, structured transitions. Cost of home ownership has gone up, is going up. Rates, insurance, mortgages. It's definitely the laws are becoming more favorable for tenants.
Mm-hmm.
So we could see a lot of the 500,000 plus rental properties that are owned by mum and dad investors start to sell off as there's a bit of a generational transition. People are retiring, they want to free up cash.
There's a gradual slowdown of that, absolutely.
And because our migration is students, are we going to see this change where we have been building out in the suburbs? Now we actually need to stack up the cities. This is what the Plan 120 is all about. Is the new era of property investing going to be more apartments and more Lego block type investing?
It is. That's a bit of a political minefield, at least in Auckland. The Auckland Unitary Plan was basically fully operative in 2016. So since then, we have seen the construction numbers come up. That has also coincided with some epic policies and I guess a property boom from the COVID response in 2021 to 2023. Some of those numbers were massive, but we have to wait on that structural shift. There's a structural shift in the general market and the mindset towards property investment, but the migration policy, that one does depend. I do believe that if Winston Peters was not part of the government, we would have seen a lot higher migration. Some will be very happy with Winston's position. Some will be very unhappy to do it. And that's going to be an interesting one because as times on, so many Kiwis don't like doing some jobs that they see as a bit mean, a bit menial. Are you looking after those in the retirement villages? They're absolutely dependent on it. If we had no migration on doing that and we got rid of those on student and accredited employer work visas, we'd have a massive problem. They'd probably become unaffordable, right?
If we're going to insist on having this massive social blanket of lots of people being on some form of benefit, and they don't want to work, and we want to keep paying them not to work, then we're going to need to bring a lot more people into the country that do want to work if we want our GDP and productivity to keep growing.
Yep, that's right.
So looking ahead to the next government, whether it's our current coalition in some form or a new entity comes in, if migration is not a strong part of it, you can use that to form your investment decisions or whether property prices are going to go up.
Yeah, that's right.
The key determinant of your advice, I guess, Dave, is are you buying properties to develop right now? You've done a 74 lot development a few years ago. You should be over the stress and had enough time away from that development to feel like, okay, now I'm stupid enough to do something like that again.
Yeah, but it's much smaller projects now. Projects like that are dangerous. You can talk to others in your network. I know you already have done that as well. They're still doing projects, but they're buying them at the right price. You've got to have your land values there. Factor in the market has reduced from 2021, 22. So you've got to buy it well, do your numbers. It's all about the feasibility, having that certainty for there. And then it is a bit of a problem on the pre-sales market. There's a lot of new build stock out there now. And buying things off the plan, and there's items that are already built, it's a little bit of a no-brainer to get something you can see, feel, and touch that's already there. So that's what's really hurting. There's a lot of fear in new build sales. Many lawyers, of course, encouraging their clients not to do new build sales and to keep looking harder and to buy something that's already done, built that you know.
Yeah, so if your financial advisor is pushing in the direction of a new build, you'd have to question why, because there's so many existing properties on the market that you're going to get a whole bunch of land and a bit more value for money. Appreciate your insights today, Dave, and we'll look forward to seeing what you buy next. If you're a viewer who owns property or wants to, do not get hypnotized by doom lists or boom myths. Your edge is understanding what is structural, what is cyclical, and what is just marketing dressed up as analysis. If you want more episodes like this, subscribe.